We're about 24 hours removed from that monumentous ring walk trailer that dropped yesterday by EBC, and man, my mind is still blown. It's still on my mind. I'm still fantasizing about playing this game. The game looks awesome. I can't say much more than that. The presentation, just the way, the mannerisms, the motions of the humans in the game, the portrayal of a real atmosphere was there. The misty look of the arena, the lighting was perfect. All the shadow work was awesome. They didn't miss. I didn't see any L's on there. Like I said, there was a lot of individual animations in the crowd, even up to the box suites way at the top. If you take a close look at the box suites way at the top, you see people like moving around and like waving their arms and dancing and doing like individual things up there. That shows that these people put a lot of time, or not even a lot of time, but a lot of thought into how they can make you immersed in the game, how they can portray that authentic atmosphere. I think that's real important to the longevity of how long you can play this game before it just feels like you're doing the same thing over and over. And I think that's one thing that UFC is dealing with now, just being somebody who still plays the UFC 4 just for the sake of having a combat sports game to run to. I kind of start feeling like, even though the results of the fight might be different, the way we get to that result of the fight might be different, it still feels like everything around the fight is the same every time. The commentary, they only have one commentary, like one commentator, just makes it feel like it's the same every time. It doesn't matter if it's a 30-second knockout or a full 3 rounds or a full 5 rounds. It feels the same. The fact that ESBC is putting thought into everything that goes around the fighting, everything that goes around the gameplay, all that stuff's gonna matter when it comes, like, the game's been out for a year already. All that stuff's gonna matter. One question I have is, how much commentating did they put in? Because there's so many commentators for boxing. I think they should go get a Max Kellerman and maybe have him have a podcast, or have him talking about what's going on in your career while you're in your hub or whatever, or have a Sean Porter or an Andre Ward commentating some fights, or being a special guest on a fight. What's the little dude name? Tim Bradley. They should have Tim Bradley on there. Go get these guys, man. Even if they're too expensive to have in the game, or you don't want to sign them to the roster, have them on the commentator roster. I think things like that just adds a little creativity to the game, where you feel like you can play it long after it's been out. That stuff right there is going to matter. Another thing, I want to know how many entrances they have on deck. Like, will you have ring entrances for online play, or will it just skip straight to the fight? Will we be able to immerse ourselves into an online fight? Because in most games, most combat sports games, most boxing or MMA games, when you're playing online, it's just straight to the fight, no presentation. There's no logic there's no logic around the fight. It's just a isolated event, and it's just no presentation to it. So I'm wondering if you're gonna have that immersion online as well as offline. Another thing that I'm interested in is, will you be able to create your own ring walk? And if so, how detailed will that get? Will we be able to control how big our entourage is? Does our entourage size go up as we go up in our career? Does our entourage size change? You have availability to celebrities or famous artists walking out with you as your career develops. In my opinion, you should have like fictional celebrities on there. Have fictional celebrities that become, over a course of years of the game being out, that become actual celebrities because you created them, but they become a staple of the game moving forward. Whereas if there's a ESBC 2 or ESBC 2nd, 3rd, 4th season, those celebrities can remain in the game. And as you bring new celebrities along, just create celebrities, create rappers, custom rappers. They don't have to be Lil Baby. Doesn't have to walk out with you. He can be Lil Crazy, and he can look like Lil Baby, and you can have those artists around you for your promotional stuff. The weigh-in, what about interviews, like where you get the chance to start a rivalry through your interviews leading up to the fight, and maybe you get an opportunity to say something sideways to the other guy, and you know, it just raises the stakes of the fight. Are we gonna have that? Are we gonna have fighter call-outs after the fight, where, you know, after the fight you have an interview and you have the opportunity to call out your next opponent? Are we gonna have that? So there's a lot that still has to be talked about. No, I'm not putting it past ESBC that this stuff is already integrated into the game. I'm not putting that past them. So this seems like a very Steel City Interactive is very innovative and forward thinking, and it seems like they have an open mind to what is actually fun and what actually makes a game fun long term. So very excited. I have a ton more questions. I just wanted to drop this real quick because these things are on my mind after seeing the gameplay video and after seeing the Canelo Bivol ring walk. Really just want to know how deep they went into this and how long we can play the game without feeling like it's getting old or repetitive, or before we feel like there's a pattern to it. So, you know, holla back, hit me down in the comments, let me know what some of y'all's ideas are. You know, if you watch this video to the end, hit the subscribe button. This is just a little lunch break chat. I'm just chilling on a Saturday and thought about this content. So holla back, much respect.